Zenith's next major patch, patch 1.2, Legends Untold, is finally here. I'm going to break down everything you need to know in these sections. Feel free to jump to what interests you, and if it's the whole update that interests you, stay right here. The tutorial of Zenith is completely different. Gone is the day of running through the underside for a couple minutes. After a fun new cinematic, we spawn at a new location, the Academy. Here we'll meet the new characters with fancy new dialogue screens that will guide you through Zenith's intricate mechanics. It was also here that I figured out that Zenith is the correct way to say the game's name, but I can't get used to this, so Zenith it is. You roam slaying holograms and test dummies, only for the Academy to be attacked and for you to make your escape. And it doesn't stop there. After you make your escape, you quickly realize that the Fractured Plains and Galien Valley have had their routes refurbished. Most of the quests are identical, but you won't have to bother running to Mika each time you complete a quest, as they're all done in one sequence. I found that it took much less time to reach the Galien Valley, a big part being that you entered the Fractured Plains at level 6 rather than 2 or 3. I was then tasked to do the new dungeon, but nobody was on the beta, so go experience it for yourself. I'll run through the differences between the old and the new main story questlines for the start of the game. I can only get up to the Cast Out the Outcasts, or the Exiled Leaders quest, before we have to do the dungeon, so I'll stop there. Some quests were outright gutted from the main introduction, some got merged to form new longer quests, and some are kept but modified or moved. Galien also had a new floating island section, which there a new strong enemy was. Now let me go just a little more in depth on these questlines. I'm going to describe the quest changes. I'm going to use their old names so you know exactly what part they are. First Flight's ring count was reduced from 10 to 7. Cursed Village crystal count was reduced from 8 to 5, and you have to pick up the shard when you break it. Homecoming's exiled count was reduced from 12 to 4, and the Ezreal was moved up a section of the mine. The Valley of Death has you go right to Mika after slaying the Ezreal. Gearing Up removed the ING in its name and placed it as a Galien quest rather than a Fractured quest. Rogues in the Valley had its checkpoints moved other than the first rock to compensate for the new floating islands. And Cast Out the Outcasts only has you slay one exiled leader and replace the second with an exiled lieutenant up in the sky. Other new locations include the Outlaw Grove, a new level 10 recommended dungeon for early game. Your first major mission after the Academy against the Exiled on hidden floating lands. And don't worry, you won't have to start a new character if you already made it past Galien. There will be a side quest to unlock a dungeon. There's also the Twilight Athenaeum. In a shadowy chamber filled with long-forgotten knowledge lies the Tome Keeper, an unyielding protector of ancient knowledge, trapped and twisted by dark knowledge. This raid produces new armor sets too. To start off the new mechanics, we have Creature Catching. Creature Catching might just be my favorite addition. It takes inspiration from Pokemon, giving you a spherical capsule that you have to throw at a critter and press the trigger to capture the bug nearby. Each capture will deplete the bug's stamina. The less stamina, the better chance your capture will actually succeed. If you up your catch level on any critter to level 3, you unlock them as a pet. And speaking of pets, pets are a new addition coming to the game. We'd known about pets all the way back before the game even launched. During pre-orders for Zenith, the Collector's Edition came with a pet, the Dingbo, which would be added in a future update. And that update is here. You'll be able to summon and interact with the Dingbo and other pets that you capture with the Capture Orb. They will follow you, let them pet you when they're feeling down, and keep you company in your expansive trek through the world of Zenith. As you care for them, you'll unlock perk points used to upgrade stats, so keeping your pet around is a must. There are some pets that you get out of game as well, and here's a list of that. Now let's get into the new gameplay features. We have Agent Rank and Promotion Rewards. The Agent Rank adds a new completion goal for anyone who's grinded out everything in Zenith. It's similar to a battle pass, but no payments needed. Complete quests and challenges to earn rewards like Zen, reroll materials, which let you reroll gear perks, crafting materials, and more. Grind to the top rank to gain special prizes and become the top ranked Zenithian. Titles. Anyone who's familiar with competitive games knows titles are very common cosmetics, and Zenith has added them in. The first ones were given to those who helped on the previous 2 minor patches PTR, and I'm sure more will come soon. Board games. Zenith needed social aspects and is beginning to add them, starting with board games. Chill with one other player and play games like chess and Connect 4, a fun little distraction from the action Zenith. Handheld camera. The handheld camera is a useful addition for content creators like me. This 4th camera style acts as if you were recording a vlog on your phone. For the first time, zooming in and out makes its way into Zenith's camera controls. I could be seeing this used for cinematics as your HUD doesn't get in the way. All you need is a smooth arm motion to capture your shot. Full body tracking for desktop. Full body tracking is getting support for desktop's version of Zenith. If you have supported accessories, you'll be able to finally move your lower body. This adds a lot of realism to the game, making it more immersive and fun not only for the player, but other players watching you kick and smash objects with your legs. New graphics are being worked on to make Zenith a more professional game. Here's a list of what has already been redone. As an Essence Mage DPS level 40, I do have the footage of all the Godstones for that class, but for the others, take a look for yourself. Quick inventory. Not really a feature per se, but one I didn't want to go unnoticed. When prompted to place your quest items or food into a specific spot, you no longer need to search through your inventory to grab it. It lets you do it with the hologram next to it. Now let's get into the major quality of life changes. There were plenty of changes we loved that were small and insignificant, but some make a difference, and I'm going to show you those. Character deletion is finally here, and it can be done in Skywave. As someone who has made plenty of accounts for challenges, this is amazing. And they are permanent, so don't mess around with it. Dungeons are now able to be played with 2 players, and raids 4. This helps a lot of smaller friend groups just play them in general. They also have new objectives, so you can't just run through to the boss. You will need to slay some enemies. There's now cross-shard guild voice chat. Your mini-map is now opened when tapping your wrist. Tunable caps for stackable AP buffs. New sword physics when throwing, and plenty more. I just can't list them all in this video. And before I show you what Zenith's next major update is looking like, I wanted to give a nod to PSVR 2 as Zenith will be a launch title for this system. To round off this update's patch notes, we'll look at what the next major patch will be from the information we have so far. And guess what? The Cyber Ninja is scheduled for the next update. From its first reveal on February 2nd, we anxiously waited as to the class's next reveal or first build, but that never came. Finally having confirmation that the Cyber Ninja is coming in just a few months is super exciting. That class is what many of us have been looking forward to. But don't count out player housing. They showed us a taste in the Discord sneak peek channel that I've covered more in depth here. Whether this is exactly what we'll get or just a prototype of housing does not change that the fundamentals of housing from the sneak peek will be making its way in the next update. Housing was a key feature that not only me but many people bargained for, a key addition to bring more life to Zenith. And that is the patch notes for this update. I hope you have a lot of fun on the update, and I hope you really enjoyed watching this video.